Hello and welcome back to what was the Arsenal Bite-Sized Podcast and is now the Weekly Canon. And it is a first for the season, not because it's a defeat. We've had that already. It's a first because we're on time for a podcast. So we're both chomping at the bit, I think, to get stuck into what went wrong on Saturday. After we do that, we'll spend 5-10 minutes max doing the predicted lineup for Club Brugge, seeing a lot of Play the Kids FC doing the round, so we'll have a stab at that. But yeah, like I said, I think we're chomping at the bit to get into what the hell happened on Saturday. Uncle Mike, what's the temperature check? How are you feeling?
Yeah, I think I calmed down a little bit. I think the initial reaction at kickoff was just expletives at the TV and turned it off immediately, and then had a big glass of wine. So tried not. I think I'm learning. Avoided social media straight away. I did actually watch Match of the Day on Saturday night because I vowed
I avoided it.
I vowed I wasn't going to, but I just found it on. And it was a Liverpool. I was more interested in watching the other games just for FPL reasons. And then I think we were on the second game. So I thought, oh, fuck it, I might as well watch it and sort of get over it. I don't know. So I've sort of calmed down a little bit now. I'm glad some do the instant reaction. I think it'll probably be a different pod. I nearly said to you to do it. I don't know your whereabouts, but I'm glad in a way that we didn't. So, yeah, how are you feeling about it now?
Very similar to you, like scary similar. I mean, yeah, straight after. It's funny, I was going to message you about doing an instant reaction as well, but I think I'm going to get myself cancelled if we do that. I was fuming, mate. I was not only fuming, I felt down, like really knocked for six, and then you kind of see the aftermath of. I was expecting City to beat Sunderland anyway, but like just it happened and it confirms that what's the point gap now? 2 points, I think. I think it was the manner of the defeat. It was the injuries of like when Saliba back, how long we're going to be with this. I think it was processing the pain of I know how good we are, and I don't want this to be an excuse, but I know how good we are, and I just want a fucking fully fit squad to be able to show it. It was anger, annoyance at like seeing players gassed out of their arse, but then I was really conflicted because I could see they were gassed, but I'm like, I know we're better than this, and it really hurt me. It really, really hurt me this weekend, that one. And then I don't know how much of this is emotional versus logic, but like I don't want to come across flip-floppy because like I think this is the thing. I think you'll say one thing one week. But then the nature of football is like football changes and it's like you're never allowed to change your tune, which I don't really like about current football media climate. But like I'm now more nervous about City, but I still have the same hope around where I think they can be exploited. It's just my confidence levels have taken a little dent just not knowing how long these injuries are going to go on for, because we can have all the depth in the world, but if the backup is out at the same time as the first choice centre-back, it's fucking hard, mate. So I think I've processed it, but I joked with you off air. I've got a horrible feeling that some topics will come up and I think wounds will get open again because that one really cut me deep. And I think I've processed it, but we'll see. Should we get into it? Well, I guess we're going to go back to old school with this one. So I've got all the stats and stuff. I'll run through that. But just as I'm running through the stats, if you mentally get ready, I just kind of want your summary of what you think happened and stuff, and we'll kind of take it from there. We've got a lot of specific things we want to talk about today, but just while I'm reading out the match stats from Markar's StatSpot, according to his model, Villa's XG was 2.05, ours was 2.11. Their threat was 1.24 to our 1.32. Possession and field tilt very close, 47 to 53, 44 to 55. And defensive action height 41.5 to 41.9. But yeah, what was your kind of high level summary of the game? You can split it into halves, however you want it, before we get into specifics.
I think it's a 1-1 draw. Basically, it's got a 1-1 draw written all over it. And if you play the game 10 times, 4 times it's a draw, 3 we win, 3 they win. I just think it was such a. I don't think. We get into it. The lineup we should start there possibly.
Let's go for it. Whatever direction. I think there's no right way to kind of
because we did predict we had what we would do and what Arteta would do, and what there was. We did have a discussion on whether to start with Gyökeres or not, and whether that was the right thing to do. And we talked ourselves into it, and then out of it, and then back into it, and playing what would Emery want us to do, and in hindsight, you could see that both were ineffective.
Yeah.
So, but would one be more effective from the start? I mean, in hindsight, it looked like it was you mentioned it. It was a Gyökeres game, and with the amount of minutes in Merino's legs, it proved that way. We can go on later, and he was hooked at half time along with Eze. So, yeah, the lineup was. We criticise Arteta was criticised for the lineup against Liverpool, and then there was a slightly different tweak into his approach with this lineup, and we needed a balance of somewhere in between over the course of the game. That XG against is horrific, and that is probably you could accumulate 10 games this season and you wouldn't get to 2.05 or whatever. So that it was a concern on the day, but we know why, because of the makeshift defence, the sixth defensive partnership we've had this season. A defensive partnership where you've got a left back playing at centre back, you've got right back playing at centre back, you've got your right, Benny White playing in second 90.
Thought he was good.
It was just one step too far in the minutes in the legs and the rotation options, because let's face it, Hincapié was your third choice left back or second choice left back, let's say, and your fourth choice centre back. If that was Mosquera playing there, I would have felt a lot more confident instead of Hincapié. I'm not pinning it all in Hincapié. I just think that was we're hindsight merchants now, and we can look at it, and I don't think it was just a little bit.
I disagree. To be fair,
really,
yeah, based on. I was someone that when the injury happened, I wanted / thought Hincapié would replace Gabriel anyway. I think he's more I'm going to talk about what I thought of his performance in a bit. I just talking prior to that. He's very experienced, more than Mosquera. He's played, I think, 100 times for Leverkusen. He's I think, Ecuador's captain. So he's more experienced. I think he's played at a consistent higher level than Mosquera. And I just thought profile-wise, he's more similar to Gabriel, maybe Gabriel of 2-3 years ago, as we saw on Saturday, but quite front-footed, quite aggressive. So I wouldn't personally agree that he's fourth choice centre-back. And even with hindsight, I would still feel comfortable. Sorry. I now have concerns about him based on what I saw, but prior to the game, I didn't, if that makes sense. I thought there would be things that we could control his aggression and stuff, but fucking hell, mate, it was like a fucking, I want to bite my tongue. He's a bit of a bozo, isn't he? He's got, my mate Andrew texts me, he's got the Gabriel Palista about him.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, and that's what I mean. I mean, yeah, you're right. We're talking hindsight, and in the lineup, I'm saying this on what I saw, and it goes to me that Mosquera would have given you more control in that side, despite being a lot less experienced, because he's all. And Gabriel, when he came in, he was a little bit rash, a little bit front-footed, giving away penalties and yellow cards and red cards, and I suppose it is a learning curve. So I think if you'd had him next to a Saliba or a Gabriel, then I think we would have been fine. But it was just that particular partnership on the day was with the tired legs of Rice and Zubimendi in front of him, and factor after factor and factor of injury, players coming back from injury. So you've got, Trossard coming on and then going off, Madueke coming on, not being lots of factors that contributed to a brilliant game of football. Overall, but it just wasn't an Arteta. What Arteta must have hated it, because it just wasn't his type of game, was it? It was a ping ball game, and that's not Arteta's what he wants, is it?
This is where I'm conflicted, because there are so many things in this game that fucking angered me so much about us. Yeah. Like, and then I'm like, are these things down to fatigue? And if they are, how can I? Because one thing that's really pissing me off is everyone saying, yeah, but Villa played Wednesday as well. And like, they did, but like, I don't know who their fixtures were before, but we had fucking Chelsea, Bayern Munich, Tottenham, and I forgot what game we've lost people in, but like Saliba, Gabriel.
In every game.
Yeah.
In almost every game we've lost. And then Brentford at home, which was a tough game.
Yeah.
And it's just the emotional. It's just not just the physical. It's the whole, and playing Chelsea when they're second place, playing Bayern Munich at home. You've got the North London derby coming to spoil you. You've got all of these and performing excellently in, I mean, not the Chelsea game, but in all of the other games at a high level, blowing Bayern Munich off the park, reducing them to fuck all. And then you look at so this is my overall picture, a view of the whole of the just the result, the 2-1 sort of freak result. If that's if that's our knock in this mad period, where you've seen City lose a 5-1 goal lead against Fulham away. Fulham that don't look very good, by the way. Chelsea conceded 3 against Leeds. Liverpool, what's happening to them? So there's been some mad results in these last 2 or 3 weeks, and we've survived that. And not only survived that, we've played really well. Some great performances by players and the team. And just as you said it earlier, I just think we looked a bit gassed. That you could see Saka giving the ball away into an area where if people were sharp, they get in that ball and a split set. And that's what it needs at this level, is that little, he'd done it a couple of times and that just leads on to a little bit of sloppiness and then bang, you're punished. So, And that's where I think of those chances. I mean, us conceding that amount of touches in our box is...
Do you have that stat to hand at all? I've forgotten what it was.
It's about 42. About 42, 46 touches in our box, which is, again,
that's unheard of.
You add up 4 matches and we haven't had that. So there's lots of these factors that I'm just putting it down. The way I'm processing it is it's what happens in a title race, and we cannot win every single game. No one was saying we could win every single game. I'm just have a little. My concerns are the structure that we started the first half with. The Ødegaard dynamic and all of that kind of thing, is that we spoke about it before the game. There's Ødegaard games, there's Eze games. And that's where I want to take that discussion. Not on the actual result of the game, it's where we go forward.
Let's do it, mate, because I think this is one of the topics that I'm claiming I've processed, and this is going to fucking wind me up. And you may need to keep me in check. We did that selling pod a few weeks ago, right? And Ødegaard was a name in contention. And I don't know if you remember that I was quite bullish on, like, I'm higher on him than most Arsenal fans for certain games. I do not want him playing every single game. I do not want him starting every single game, because do you know what? There are some games where I really dislike who we are because I think of him. It's not against him. It's when he's in the team, I believe we've come... Not for every game. I've got to stress that, because I think it's so easy to think, oh, he's flip-flopping this guy. Like, there are some games where I want his predictability. I want his ball security. I want the high volume of touches. That's not fucking Aston Villa away. No way. That we looked so toothless. And again, how much of it is the gassiness? But I don't know. There are some games where he takes the unnecessary touches. His angle. I criticized Winery for this a while ago. Like, he receives the ball and almost automatically shuts out 50 to 70% of the pitch. Ødegaard's doing that now. How much is it is rustiness? I don't know. But I've got on the screen the passing networks, right? How much of this is just down to him? I don't know. But I wish I had the passing networks without him, because I just felt like the whole connection of the team looks better without him. Where right now, it felt like going back to last year, where it's like, what's our plan of attack? Give it to Ødegaard. He's going to give it to Saka. And like, Saka was doing a madness at some point, but we saw that last year. It's not sustainable. It's so easy to defend against. And then the other thing I've got, so this ball progression, pass and carry, yeah? Who's top for carrying and passing just carrying actually Ødegaard. But for Arsenal, it's Ødegaard. In passing, it's Martinez. But I really want to stress this because I think people will look at this and go, oh, that's great. It is such false control. It is him popping the ball around our centre-backs. It is him giving it to Saka, getting it back, giving it back to Zubimendi or Rice, passing it around the horseshoe. It's stat padding with no intent to hurt. And again, it's probably coming across like slagging him off. I really, really dislike who we are as a football team with him as the direction sometimes. And I really fucking liked who we were without him sometimes. And do you remember I said on Friday, like, did we really miss him? I'm not sure. And again, I've got to say, I wouldn't, if the price is right, would I sell him? Yes. But like when we did that pod, was he one of my ones I was looking to ship? No, because there are games where I think we need him, but this was not one for me, man. And I think it showed personally, but what do you think?
I mean, he had a good game, right?
Yeah,
this is the thing. He had a good game. So we're not, this is, before people say, oh, I think he had 4 shots. I'd like a bit more accuracy in his shots. They just seem to always be at the keeper. I mean, we knew Martinez was going to pull one out, but he made a couple of good saves. So he is shooting a little bit more. But the bigger picture is, he's coming in, as you said, he's taking the ball off of Zubimendi and he's stat padding that way. I think we've evolved it past, and we should be past it being a Martin Ødegaard team. Because last year, when we lost him in that period last year, we really, really suffered. But we've moved past, we move past every team moves in, and that's how it should be, because we can't have a single point of failure, and we cannot just then a whole game plan and press and way of build up and right hand side pods and all of that go out the window just because Ødegaard throws himself on the floor into sort of shitty challenges earlier in the season that he didn't really need to do and dislocate his shoulder. So. I think that totally we should have different game plans, different game sets, and I think that's what Arteta wants. And we've never been in a position to have that. So I'm certainly not writing him off for should never play Ødegaard again. He is and will be an extremely important player. But you have to open your eyes to there are different ways to play on different days. And as though Eze had an absolute shocker. And I don't know if you've got that that slide that I sent you with the. So I think it was 13 touches, 74% pass completion, no duels won, no tackles won, an absolute meh. But look where he is. That's not Eze's game, is it? So the game was crying out for a fit Martinelli, but Martinelli didn't have a particularly good game against Chelsea. Would, hindsight again, would Madueke have been a better option? But when we all looked at that lineup at the start and thought, that's what we want to see is Eze and Ødegaard and Merino up top, or is it an Eze, Ødegaard and then you have a Gyökeres up top, because then you have got your runner and you can pass your balls through. And then Merino having a slightly off game certainly didn't help Eze, and then there's no coincidence that both of them have both players had the lowest touches in the first half, and both hooked at half. Eze and Merino both had the lowest touches in the first half, and then both hooked at half time. And then the first 15 minutes of the second half, we looked in control, and Trossard came on, looked good.
Can I say one unpopular opinion?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not as concerned about Eze on the left as everyone else is. I've been disappointed in his Arsenal career so far for different reasons. Tottenham game aside, for obvious reasons. I think off the left he will be fine. I think he will have games where he's pretty exceptional there. I do put this as he had a poor game, like an extremely poor game. He's had a few poor games, and I don't think they're just off the left. He's had a few poor anonymous games centrally too. I think there's a lot that he needs to pull his finger out on and really I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole again. Like he did bits versus Tottenham, but I don't
off the ball as well.
Off the ball as well, yeah. But I just want to say my unpopular opinion is that I think there will be periods where he plays off the left and he's fine. But fucking hell, what the fuck was that on Saturday? Like that was one of the worst from him. Another unpopular opinion, like again, I've said this for a while. I think Eze Merino's output has really given him a perception of a player he is not, in my opinion. He has always been a very technically inconsistent player, in my opinion. And how much of his technical horror show on Saturday was down to fatigue, I don't know. But I have seen games where he's been scoring where he can't fucking make it. I think I said it on Friday. He'll try a 2-yard pass, won't connect. It hits his heel instead of his inside of his foot. He'll try a flick that doesn't work. He fucking rolls around like a fanny every fucking game, which does my fucking head in. Honestly, every fucking game he's rolling around. I'm like, just get the fuck up. And because you're hindering us. It's really fucking annoying. But technically, he'll have some finishes that are clean and crisp and his movement's great. But his all-round value add in possession is not good, in my opinion. It's incredibly overrated. So I feel like that's something that's been winding me up where, like, obviously when someone's that prolific, you have to give them their flowers. But I feel like when that's happening, people just neglect or ignore the shit that's not so good about a player. So sorry, that was just the things I wanted to say on them. But sorry, I've lost my train of thought on that one. I forgot where we were going with that one.
So we've got what about their goal? Because you could see there was a time before where, well, actually, I also, we'll talk about their goal, but I also want to talk about the positioning of Calafiori and White because they were so goal? Well, in general in the first half, because they were so far forward, and we can't criticise Calafiori because that's what we love about him. But there was when you're doing that when you got Gabriel or Saliba. And certainly both of them at the back, I think it gives you a little bit more license. And I know it was part of, Arteta's plan to overload on that side. And then it kind of feeds into, why was Ødegaard, White and Saka trusted? Because he, picked because he trusts them, that pod. So, and they did produce chances and they did, we did produce a couple of nice stuff from that side. But Calafiori was extremely far forward and it kind of left us vulnerable on that side with a player like Eze, who is off the ball, not as committed or certainly not in tune yet with what is demanded from him. I mean, they're non-negotiables, man, at the back post. That's schoolboy stuff for Eze.
Did you see his reaction as it was?
Yeah, and he knew it. He knew it straight away, and that was just whether he thought I saw some analysis and whether you could have had Calafiori and Eze swap in that particular because the ball came over from the left hand side and Calafiori standing in front of Eze and Eze's at the back post. If you sort of swap it round. Calafiori is more defensively minded to be tracking the player, and it was just left him with loads of space. So, and it was just off on his heels, wasn't he? And that, and then it was a warning sign from Cash because he had a run before, and Eze was quite left in. But I think that's just something we got to accept with Eze that he's not a Martinelli. He hasn't got the backtracking like Martinelli. He's got that low input but high impact, which is what we said previously. So. Yeah, there was a little bit disappointing that goal. I think it was just a to and fro game. I don't think we had 9 shots on target, and we've not had 9 shots. That's the most we've ever had at Villa Park in since records since 2003, 2004. Never had 9 shots on target. It was just the accuracy of the shots on target. We had chances, just didn't take them.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You kind of look at, so again, going back to the stats and the graphic on screen from Mark our stats, but like you see the XG graphs and like, well, yeah, we had the most shots on target we ever have, but like so much of it in the first half was just a flat line. And then it was like a small flurry here and there. Then it really shot up, obviously, in the second half. And I think you could see an immediate impact in the second half with the substitutions. Like we'll talk about Gyökeres, but obviously Trossard gets his goal. And I really liked the substitutions. I like that he had the balls and was ruthless to do that, because I think a lot of fans were calling for something similar. I guess, sorry, I know I'm jumping around here. We speak a lot about the horses for courses and all of that good stuff. Is he showing us that that's not how he thinks? And because, like, if we're going horses for courses, I really believed this was a Martinelli or a Madueke and a Gyökeres game, but he went for the info. There are games where I think Ødegaard and Merino are fine. It wasn't for Villa Park. It never was.
But who else was fit? That's the thing. Trossard came on. Did he go off just because he could only have half an hour?
Yeah, but that's
so.
Martinelli.
So would he have started if a fit Trossard would have started this game, wouldn't he?
You'd hope so.
Do you think your fit Trossard would have started this game?
But I still think, despite Madueke's poor performance against who was it? Sorry, before
Chelsea.
Was it Chelsea? Despite that, and how much of this is hindsight, I don't know, because then if you're doing this, you're not picking Eze. It's more to challenge the hypothesis and the statement that we're going to go horses for courses in games, because have we really seen that? Like Leeds at home, we did with Madueke on the left, but I really believe this lineup was wrong. And again, I get your point. It's easy to say that. Was Gyökeres actually capable of starting? I don't know, but
and that's the thing. I want to see. And I know what you're saying, and I know exactly what you're saying, but I still don't think he's had. At any one time he's had he's had a fit defence with all the options to choose from, and no attackers. And now he's sort of being stripped of all the defence. So we're sort of looking slightly more vulnerable there with the XG. But the attackers are slowly coming back in dribs and drabs, and still more to come. And then there's no coincidence that their 9 shots on target, set piece threats gone, or we're creating more chances because the attackers are coming back. So until he's got that full, and whether we will ever have that, that's the issue I'm worried about, is whether even if it was just and then that goes down to him. I mean, is it the fitness of the players, or has he had more chance to put a few minutes into Nwaneri's legs, who is totally cold, stone cold? Now,
Steve Austin.
Yeah, could he come on? Could he have taken some minutes somewhere? He does this with Arteta's done this in the past, where he isolates players and just gives them no minutes at all, and then relies on them. And then I know we haven't had to get down to that, and I'm still concerned about why he's not getting any minutes, because that is
it's a bit weird.
It's not just 1 or 2 games now. We've played 20 games all season, and he's hardly getting any minutes at all. So maybe that's another thing. But I'm just a bit. I do know what you're saying, but if he had a Havertz back and a Gyökeres back and a fit Madueke and a Trossard, and even if you only had one of those guys out, then you could do the real horses for courses thing and say, right, that's my front 3 for that particular game. Bring them out. He's going to make that impact. He's going to do that. So that's what I'm desperate to see. Whether we'll ever get there, I'm not sure.
And I think you're bang on. And I think this is the thing I'm struggling to stomach. And I think you don't ever want to say this, but maybe it is just, I don't know, because people will lap this up and say it's excuses and stuff. But maybe we just arrived at the most informed team in the league at that moment, with one too many issues and people not quite back in 100%. And in isolation, is our dropped points so far of losing at Liverpool and Villa Park and drawing at Sunderland away? Have I missed anything? And Chelsea, yeah. Is that awful? Probably not. If as long as
Sunderland were in form. Hard place to go. Chelsea were the hot team, just beat Barcelona, title charge for 3 days, till they get spanked by Leeds. Villa the same. An unbelievable run. You said it on Friday. The most amount they've played one more point than us since September. They just gone totally under the radar because of the shit start that they had. And if they had I think if you had Ollie Watkins from 2 years ago, we could have got seriously dealt with. On Saturday.
True. So, he kind of blundered a few good.
Yeah,
areas,
so I mean, we had the chance early on. Ødegaard shot 1-0 there. Martin, so I wasn't disappointed. But it's not as though they totally bombarded us, and it was one heroic challenge too far, because that block at the end, if that whistle had gone after that second order, it falls one side, we're celebrating like fuck,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
why
yeah.
that's why we win the league. So and you could see what it meant to the players, man. And sometimes title challenges like this, I just want that to fuel another 12-game unbeaten run. And that's how you deal with, that's what champions do. You do not go on it fuck you for 2 or 3 games where you drop points, you pick up a draw here, you feel sorry for yourself, and then suddenly you're 3 games in and you haven't won a game. And we've got to go out. Bruges is a different story, because I can afford to. We'll talk about that, but I'm not that fussed about that. And I shouldn't be that fussed about Wolves, but you cannot take any team in this league for granted. And that's, you've just got to put your foot to the pedal against Wolves, smash them up, think, right, that's it. And I think I trust these set of players to do that, and it will fuel them to say, right, let's go.
So I do as well. My concern comes from what you can visibly see or visibly saw on Saturday. We're like, they're physically fucked. Like it wasn't, and I think this is where I'm really cautious between going in too hard versus like Declan Rice. Like he looks absolutely off his fucking backside, like same as some of the others. And I think this is the thing. As much as I say in isolation, like the points dropped at Anfield, Villa Park, Stadium of Light, and Stamford Bridge, like that over the course of the season, if you had to tell me that in like August, I'd probably be like, yeah, fair enough. It's just as long as we don't drop points anywhere we shouldn't. That's the biggest thing. And I'm a little bit worried that if we don't get the cavalry back, and if we don't get a Gyökeres reintegrated how he looked against Burnley, and in my opinion Newcastle, and some of the others how they should play, and the real efficient use of Ødegaard. I really do not want this guy to start every single game, because again, you hit the nail on the head. He played well. It's not about him. It's about the direction of what this team is with him in it that I think I have concerns about, because I think it's easier to defend against us. So all that to say, I do think this is normal shit in a title race. And I think I definitely got caught up in the bubble of like how fucking good we are and relentless and stuff. And it was a bit of a reality check. So like you're saying, as long as it fuels the next stint, I think for me, I'm similar to you. Like I was kind of on the unpopular side of like against Bruges. I believe we should go for it. Not anymore. I think I'm not quite play Marley Salmon, but which I think a lot of people are, but I'm not quite there, but I am very much like, we have to just get 3 points against Wolves, 3 points against Everton. Who's after Everton? Bournemouth away?
But we got in our next 4, we got 3 home games, 1 away game, and I think that's the Everton away game. And we got Palace at home as well.
That's in the League Cup.
And then we got, I think it might even take you through to Boxing Day, maybe the day after Brighton.
Yeah. It's Brighton and Villa at home that week.
Yeah. So, but one thing that was a slight, in our last 3 away games that you mentioned, we've conceded first in all 3 games. So, and no coincidence there with the lack of the 2 best centre halves in the world. So I'm caveating against that, and all I want to see is Saliba back as soon as possible. That would be very nice, please.
Well, and when we podded on Friday, I think we went before the presser. We didn't have the information about Mosquera, right? What a fucking bummer. Also, we haven't had a chance to pod since. I got to get this off my chest while you brought it up about us missing the 2 best centre-backs in the world. Gabriel, what a fucking idiot, by the way. Like, playing in that friendly for Brazil. I don't give a flying fuck how important it is playing for your country at the World Cup and stuff. I'd get it if it was a qualifier. It was a fucking friendly, man. Like, and I get it to an extent. Like, it was at the Emirates. Like, if you felt something to the point where you had to train alone, that is fucking so idiotic.
I think our mistake was playing him against Sunderland. Remember,
did he have an issue?
Yeah, he had an issue. There was a big doubt. There was a big doubt before the Sunderland game. If you go back to the Sunderland game, he was at fault, slightly just off the pace, just off the split second stuff. If he doesn't play Sunderland, he doesn't go to doesn't play in that game. I understand, you know, I've met a couple of Brazilians and I kind of know their feeling for their national team. So I kind of get it in a way, but I don't give a fuck about Brazil, mate. We're Arsenal, so he could potentially jeopardise a league medals a winner for him for playing in front of his box and his family at the Emirates. So yeah, that was so frustrating because it was just so unnecessary. If it's, as you say, qualifier, get it. Yep, but you go around on a commercial tour with friendlies in fucking London, then South Korea, then Tokyo. You're traveling to them to play. No, mate, it's not on. So yeah, and that to lose both of them for that amount of time is just hurt us so much. And
it's the mascara on top of
it.
Yeah, Tommy all over again.
Yeah, exactly. And I just want to, and now the next one will be White because he's got to be put in. That's why we need to leave it back as soon as possible. We just want good news on that. And I'm almost,
right? So like,
yeah, but he said days for that for 2 weeks. I'm just hoping, maybe we're learning is that, yeah, he said it for 2 weeks now. And I'm just like, sure? Yeah, last week he said it before the weekend. He said it was Brentford, it was days or it was so. Yeah, so I'm just a bit. I just want the attack. The defence carried this team when we didn't have our attackers. And the defence carried that team by shutting it all down. And we've now lost our two main defenders. And now it's down to the attack to start putting the ball away and being a bit more efficient and taking these chances. And that leads on to Gyökeres because I thought he had it was...
Mate, what the fuck was that, honestly?
Yeah, Jesus, that was shit. That was shit. So you can't sugarcoat a fucking turd. So that wasn't great, mate. That wasn't great. So, but again, we're not privy to information. Is he fit? He's got a broken finger.
Wait, what?
That shouldn't inhibit you from starting it.
He's got a broken finger.
Yeah, he's got a broken finger.
Is that what?
See, yeah, he's got a broken finger. He's got his finger strapped, his hand strapped.
That's what kept him out. Wait, no.
I'm not saying that's what kept him out.
Oh,
but
right.
All I saw before the game was that he's going to play with, or he's broken his finger, and his hand was strapped. Now that surely can't stop you starting.
Broken finger. I mean,
mate, you would have been in a betting shift.
I'm not playing at Villa Park, but fuck me, I'm not having that. Yeah.
The disappointing for me is, mate, where's the fucking shots? Where's the shots?
Yeah.
Where's the shot? Not one fucking shot, mate. Geezer should be fined. Geezer should be fined, mate. You've got to be taking 3 shots by the time you get off that pitch. Otherwise, I'm finding you fucking 10 grand wages. Yeah. That's what he was bought for. He was bought for shots. Him, Madueke, and Eze were the 3 highest, or up there with the 3 highest shot takers in all fields. And that is why we purchased them, because we were lacking in shots. This guy's got to be getting shots off. So again, I can caveat it with building relationships, blah, 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 connections, blah, blah, blah. Yes, we're making excuses, but mate, you've got to be fucking doing better than that if you're playing on for the Arsenal up front at Villa Park. We needed more than that. So yeah, I just want to see more.
That's where I kind of land on him. Like, I was fucking disgusted by that cameo, to be honest. And I was calling for him to start that game. If I'm being honest, I was very encouraged by what I saw at St. James's Park. I was very encouraged by what I saw at Turf Moor. So I am in the camp of that was fucking disgusting. I'm hoping it's rustiness, reintegration. He's a technically clunky guy anyway. I think he's a guy that probably needs rhythm to find that touch and combination play, if you can call it that, with him. But like we saw a bit of it in those other 2 games, right? So I'm similar to Eze, even though Eze's done it a few times now. I'm kind of putting this in the disaster class, put it in the bin, fucking regroup, get yourself into the fucking right headspace to perform and earn your shirt for the Arsenal, because injuries are tricky. I get that. Like, he's been out for a while, but like, come on, mate, we need you now. And it's just
we just need to see him connected a little bit as well, don't we? We just need to see him like a little bit. It must be really hard because he's an
uncomfortable player to watch.
Yeah, he's came in. He's played every minute. Then he gets injured. and then he just as I agree. He had really good game against Newcastle. The first half against Burnley, and he was really, really looking good. I agree, Christopher. But I got a probably higher opinion of Kai.
Me too.
Than you. I can't wait.
I fucking love Kai. Yeah.
I can't
Chris's
wait.
comment for anyone that isn't watching on YouTube is, never thought I'd see the day where I'm waiting desperately for Havertz to be back. And like, I think we're missing Havertz big time. And I'm with you, Mike. I think I share a higher opinion of him as well. IBK Max is in saying he was expecting Martinelli to get more minutes in the Villa game to use his pacing behind Villa's high line, similar to how Eze found Martinelli over the top against City. I completely agree. And that's why I'm like, yeah, I agree. I think it was wrong, man. I do.
Yeah, and that's the frustration. But the one thing, he rectified at halftime.
He did.
And he went for it. And we can't be accused of, the old narrative of Carragher and Neville saying, you don't go to these big games to try and win it. I think we did try and win it with those substitutions. But fair play to Emery. It was a classic ding-dong match, and it was a great advert for football. It just fucking hurts when it's last-minute winner against you with literally the 95th minute. And especially what preceded before. It wasn't as though they were totally knocking on our door and it was going to, and you felt it was going to come. It was like we had a chance. That chance from Rice to put across the Madueke, and that was,
what a ball.
Noni, yeah, what a ball, Noni. Just like do a little trick. Don't give it a little. But then we want him to shoot. You know what I mean? So, I think
I wasn't as mad about that as I think everyone else was, because I kind of get the instinct there.
But then, or just hold the ball.
But again, how much of
or
that
win the corner
sat from the sofa? Like, the speed of playing the pitch.
Yeah,
like I kind of.
But then Ødegaard, I mean,
what my big concern was, where the fuck was our number 9? Like, he was fucking running in with a fucking truck on his back there. Like, what was that? And again, this is where I'm like, I've seen him do those great sprints in behind, so I'm putting it down to surely just rustiness. We spoke about Hincapié, right? But I have to get this off my. What the fuck was he doing at the end? What the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Oh my god! Like,
yeah.
I think he's a good player, by the way. I don't want people to get the wrong. I think he'll do a job for us and he'll be very good, but.
He's got to be within the structure. He needs people left, and wherever he is, he's going to need someone a bit more. Like, he looked okay when he got Gabriel next to him, or Mosquera. He needs nurturing friends. That's totally understandable, because when you've got the 2 best centre halves in the world, there will always be a drop off. So we cannot expect, and I don't think we are. I don't think we're expecting him to be. He will have flaws and weaknesses that will be polished out in time, but we're just seeing them exposed now in the headlights because of what's happened with Mosquera next to him. Exactly, if you had him and Mosquera there, I don't think he'd be looking as slightly vulnerable, and he's front-footed, he's rash, he's got red or yellow in him at all times. I can see him giving away a penalty in a big game as well. That's what I'm afraid of, but it's a watch and see with him.
Yeah, no, I agree. Is there anything else you want to cover, or are we done from
Emery, man? Emery is Arteta's Emery's bitch.
Oh,
fucking, you know what I mean?
I don't like it, but I can't argue it. It's it's painful. It is really.
Well, good thing I want to see, and I do want to see. We got him again in a couple of weeks, haven't we? And it's time for retribution then. And I want to see a slapping, team dependent, lineup dependent. And I think
Havertz back. Do you know?
Mate, it was meant to be after the last international break, wasn't it? For the Tottenham game, he was meant to be back. Yeah, he was meant to be. But then I'm hearing after Christmas now. So I mean, the one thing is, I think that's what Arteta's learning. If someone's like Rice's calf strain, it's immediately off. Right, get off the pitch now. Whereas before, I think we were playing through. People were playing through knocks. And I'm hoping that the fact that worries me is that you haven't seen Havertz anywhere near a bench at all, and Saliba wasn't on the bench on Saturday. So, and I don't want to see Saliba play against Bruges, but he's going to have to get minutes in him somewhere. So, do you want to go on to?
Yeah.
Do you want to go on to the? Go on.
Yeah, I just got a couple more to ask you. Just the Havertz thing. Like, I am very much. I can't wait for him to come back. But I think one thing is he has missed a long time. He's not going to just come straight back in and hit the ground. It's going to take a while to reintegrate. So this is where
20 minutes here, half hour there.
Even more so, we need Gyökeres to really step up. He really needs to
step up for what he was bought for.
Yeah, exactly. The other thing I was just going to ask is like a concern of mine in terms of next 4. Let's just go 2025, right? Excluding Palace and excluding Champions League. Wolves at home, Everton away, Brighton at home, Villa at home. It has to be 4 wins for me. But I look at
anything else is not title challenging form. Yeah. Anything else, then the cracks are showing, and the narratives that people will have for us until we get it over the line will remain. Because if we drop a point in these next 12, it's same old Arsenal.
Yeah, and this is where kind of what I was saying earlier, like where we have dropped points so far, I can kind of accept those 4. I'm not saying we have this entitled right to go there and win those games, but we're better than those teams. And like the Villa game, we have to have some needle about us in that and really go about it. But like I'm comparing that 4 to Man City's 4, who are now 2 points behind us. Palace away, any other time, tricky. I'd be like, great for us.
Yeah.
They got a Thursday night Europa game. Glasner does not rotate. Are Palace in their best moment? I know they won yesterday or Sunday.
Still a tricky team. They could get a draw.
I really hope so, mate. West Ham, I think 3 points, and then Forest, Sunderland away. Apparently, Sunderland are going to get picked off by AFCON. So the timing of when you play teams, is a thing. And I hate this because Arsenal fans get this thing of like we explain everything. It's like if your league, the team you're going up against for the title, go to a place you're hoping they drop points, and said team possibly don't have their strongest 11. What the fuck are you meant to say? Like, it's one thing I really dislike about modern football culture. Like, you're not allowed to almost explain anything. It's always
in that note, but people could say this to us. To be fair, right? I'll play devil's advocate.
Yeah, go for it.
Salah, right?
What about?
Well, he's obviously will be at AFCON when we play Liverpool.
That's advantage Liverpool.
And that's what I was just going to say. Because before it was almost like advantage Arsenal. Now with the thing that worded around Anfield, that's another dynamic as well. Is it too much of a loss for Salah not to be there for when they face us? So, I mean, there's it's so important. But it's just the luck of what happens, the way it falls, the fact that we're playing. I can go, mate. I've got fucking receipts from 5 years ago from when we were like Liverpool were playing teams and Bassi got sent off for Fulham the week before, so the best centre half. Then they suddenly played they played for about 4 or 5 games with every team that they played that either a suspended player or played at the wrong time, but. It works itself out over 38 games. I'm not going to. I'm a bit conspiracy theorist sometimes, but I don't want to do me head in with.
No, I think
I'm not saying that you are. I'm just saying it's an important, because you look at games and you think that's an opportunity for that. They're going to drop points potentially there, and if anything takes 5% away from the opposition to getting those points, it's a bit of a fuck.
I think that's where my anxiety is coming from. Like, where the gap is now only 2 points, and I'm just next 4 for the sake of ease of conversation. Like, we have to win our 4, but just if City also win their 4, Jesus, and I think that's where my kind of anxiety is.
But I think we've been scarred, mate. But I never, no Arsenal fan, despite every, and this is what's chucked at us. People will say we will celebrate winning the league in October. No Arsenal fan was. It was every. No, you're not. You're saying we're going to win the league, and I still think we will win the league, right? But we're not saying we've won the league, and I think it was very uncomfortable that, and I still had it, in South Africa last week. People were still, when I met other fans, you're going to win the league this year. It's yours this year. And that's such a fucking flippant thing to say, because you've actually got to go and do it. And then it'll be, if we don't do it, you've bottled it again. And we'll see what happens come the end of the season. But you've just got to keep grinding these results out, get 12 on the board. I think Arteta's very good at controlling the vibe at Arsenal is about control what you can control and don't think about the uncontrollable. So he will have a fully focused on, don't worry about City, but it's the fan base that I'm worried about. It's the fan base, the noise, because one game loss and it's suddenly fucking, unless opposition fans have also waited 3 months for us to lose a game. Yeah. The last time we lost a game was September the 1st, Liverpool.
And I think it's the nature of it, though, right? Like it's the injuries, all of that. I have got to say, like, bang on about the controllables and stuff. What I would say is, if we have 80% of our squad for the rest of the season, I feel confident.
Yeah,
that's
imperative.
One thing I think could be our own Achilles heel within our control is if we play Martin Ødegaard as a not single point of failure, but if we insist on he is that player to play every single game, I think that could be our little Achilles heel, if I'm being totally honest.
And that's what I go back to is you're doing the same thing that for 3 years that hasn't worked. So why the fuck are you going to do it again?
Yeah. Should we move it on? Brugge, it's not going to be War and Peace. If you could do me a favor, if you could just get up like the Champions League table while I read out a couple of the... don't worry, if you haven't got your phone, I can do it. But just want to read out a couple of things I've seen Chris has put in the chat. If anyone's watching us live, let us know in the chat. I've seen so many lineups doing the rounds. What would you do against Brugge on Wednesday? And what do you think Arteta will do? Like I said, I've seen a few of the old Marley Salmon shouts doing the rounds. So where's Chris's comment? He said, just seen that Club Brugge have sacked their manager, who is seemingly someone that most of their fans adored. Wonder if this plays into Arteta's mind and allows him to rotate the team more than he'd have wanted to. I'll be honest, I don't think he reads into any of that stuff. I do think he will rotate, though, more than we're used to. Like, I still believe
struggling, mate. I'm struggling to even get a lineup together.
I am. It's just
I really am.
Yeah.
Because you've got to play. Should we try? Would you play? All right, let's start with the keeper. Kepa?
Yeah. I think Ryan's fine.
Okay.
Like, Kepa will get Palace next.
Then you've got to go. You've got to go the same back four. Well, you've got to go White. You've got to go White.
Calafiori is now suspended against Wolves. So do you?
Yes. So
do you think Calafiori gets Bruges, or does Miles need minutes to get into a rhythm before that?
I'd play Miles.
Because Calafiori gets a whole week off.
Yeah. Because if you're going to take the opportunity, you've got to take the opportunity. Yeah, because otherwise the next thing he goes down. I'm looking at him moving to, that tackle with McGinn, and I'm like, fuck's sake, he's not injured as well, is he? So I would go Miles. Then I'd think you'd have to go in Hincapié.
Yep.
And then I'm going Timber and White.
So you're not on the Marley Salmon train?
No. I don't.
I'm not either. But how comes out of interest?
I just don't think Arteta does that. It's disrespectful to the competition. I think he doesn't. If it's the last game, he still wants to. Not that that's gonna. I just don't think he throws him into it. If it was at home against that Kazakhstan team or whatever,
Almaty, yeah.
I would then possibly, but no, I don't think he does that away at Bruges. It'd be a lively atmosphere, nice strong beer over in Belgium, so the locals will be up for it. So I don't think he does that. And then I play.
Sorry, just to interrupt. This is spot on from Chris. It's just such a shame because the players like White, Mosquera, and Hincapié, they'd usually be the ones coming in for a game like this. But now 2 or 3 of them are forced starters and one's out to 2026. And that's exactly it, right?
And that's the squad, That's why they were purchased, So then you'd go Norgard. I would start Norgard.
I would as well.
I'd start Norgard. I would like to see Nwaneri start.
Me too.
Because he needs minutes, and there will be a drop off. But I will accept that. I would then start Martinelli, because I think that's it is a Martinelli game. I'm going all over
Yeah, that's fine.
Then I'd
go where your brain goes and then somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. Then I'll go Big Vic up top because I would give Merino a rest. He's played an awful lot of minutes. I would start Madueke. So I'd have instead of Ødegaard, I'd have Nwaneri, but I don't think. And we're going to bring on Ødegaard with 20 or 30 to go. I'll start Madueke and do the same with reverse it with Saka, and I'll stab him 60 and bring on Saka with 30. It's more important for me. I think the big dogs will play, but it's just given.
Do you count as the big dogs?
Saka, Ødegaard.
You think he'll play? Yeah, start.
I think I think they will get minutes.
Oh, me too.
But I want to do the reverse. I don't want them to start the game. I want them coming on with 20, 15, possibly 30 to go. So what about yourself?
Just before I do mine, Chris has said he doesn't want to see Rice and Saka getting on the pitch on Wednesday, to be honest. Need them to get the midweek off. Yeah, I think I agree with Chris, if I'm honest. Ideally, I don't want them to touch the pitch. I'll just do what I think I'll tell. No, I'll do what I would do. I would do same back four as you. So back five, sorry. Raya, unfortunately, Timber, White, Hincapié. I think I would give Calafiori. I think I'd give him a half each. Like, whatever way round you want, I don't care. But I'm stuck on that. Let me come back to left back. I would 100% start Norgard. I agree. I would go Nwaneri. I would play Eze in this game. I think it's a good opportunity for him to
build up a bit
revive
of confidence
a little bit of a shit show from Saturday. So I would keep. Ironically, this is a game I want. I almost want Ødegaard to start in this game, but I don't because he's coming back from injury and fucking hell, this is difficult because basically I want and think this is a good game for Ødegaard. I kind of want Eze for different reasons. I want Nwaneri. I want Madueke, Martinelli. So, all right, fuck it. Let me squeeze them all in. I'll come back to left back. Norgard, Ødegaard, Eze. Madueke on the right, Martinelli on the left, Big Vic up top, Nwaneri from the bench. And left back, I don't know. I don't care. Like Lewis Skelly, Calafiori, who gives a fuck? Like
I just want minutes rested from. I would like to see Calafiori have a good sit down for a week. Be ready for Everton. Be ready for because we cannot. It's an insurance policy. Imagine if he gets an injury.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right, mate. To be honest,
why are you playing against Brugge? You could have played.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
You're right, and I think Miles needs to get some warm legs in him. Don't
you want to get because you're going to have to play him against Wolves, and you don't want him looking rusty against Wolves, and then you can get so because Hincapié is going to have to play, unless we are talking to Lieben might be back for Wolves. I'm hoping.
I think he will be.
And I would rather, if that is a case of sit him down, play Miles this game, play Hincapié this game, then you can possibly rest White. And then you play Timber and Saliba for the Wolves game, or
I forgot to say that. I do think Saliba will be on the bench on Wednesday, and I do think he'll come off.
He could come on.
He'll come on from the bench, which I would
because he's going to need minutes. Yeah, he's going to need minutes. So maybe he comes on for a Timber, or Timber moves across, White goes off. So
Chris's
I'm not sure about Downman.
Downman gets
good
minutes.
Shout.
And Charles, I've seen your question. We'll answer it at the end, mate.
Yeah, I think he might actually, but again, 10 minutes at the end, 15 minutes at the end, game state. So why not? I'd rather him get minutes than Saka.
Yeah. My biggest concern is the defense. I do think we've got enough options within midfield and attack to keep the rhythm. Have a good enough attack to win the game and optimize people's minutes and recovery and stuff. It's the defense I'm a bit concerned about. All right, we'll leave it there. Where are you at score-wise? And also just as a recap in the Champions League. So we're top, obviously. We've played 5-1-5. We've got 15 points. PSG are second, joint second with Bayern, Inter and Real Madrid, who are all on 12 points. A win secures qualification for the top, the round of 16 for us. I do think we are aiming to be top 2 in this because of the benefits of home advantage and stuff. And I think I said on a pod, I can't remember if it was with you or with Simon, but I do think 7 points from Bruges into Kairat will do it.
Yeah.
Do you think if we rotate heavily and we're getting a point here, do you think 5 points does it?
Yeah, but then you're sort of leaving if you don't want it. You also want that there's a balance between wanting that dead rubber at the end, or you want it done and dusted as soon as possible, don't you?
Basically, with the rotated teams we're talking about, do you think that's good enough to get 3 points?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go 2-1 Arsenal.
Yeah, I got the exact same. I think, and I've got to stress, it's not me knowing anything about Club Bruges. It's just the standard European away.
It's a nice town, lovely beer, good Christmas market.
Yeah, just the standard like European away. It'll be lively, like it'll be hostile, uncomfortable in periods. They'll go for it more than most teams do. We've got one question to wrap up before we get out of here, Uncle Mike, because I know we both got to go. It is from Charles, who's a regular listener now. So thanks for your question, mate. Says, why Anfield and Unai coached team? Why is an Anfield and Unai coached team kryptonite again? Doesn't mind a loss or a draw, but how is it the same again and again? This means someone is not learning, eh?
I slightly did. I can see the points, but he has ticked off. I think Arteta does learn every single season, but there will always be teams and managers that have a slight hoodoo over you, with it even does not make sense, no logic. Tottenham with Man City, various teams, various faces, various managers, various styles of play, and they still do one over them every season at theirs. And why aren't the best manager in the world learn how to beat Tottenham? We're fucking shit. So you could put Etihad into that equation because that is the final boss for Arteta, I think. And I think that's possibly where the title gets decided this season is there. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure he doesn't learn. But I do agree there seem to be something over there.
Well, no, is Charles giving the answer to his own question? Is the Arsenal manager allowed to have a pokey team or not?
Yeah.
Chris has said, to be fair, with the Anfield game, we lost to an absolute wonder goal, and I reckon we'd have a better go at Liverpool if we knew how bad things were going to get for them.
Yeah, and also, like, you can put it into, we know we didn't play the right lineup at Liverpool. We should have made a change 20 minutes earlier. We did have chances. It's not as though they pummeled us, but in previous years they have. But I still think that was our first defeat at Anfield in 3-4 years. Ever since, ironically, since Arteta played the You'll Never Walk Alone on the on a documentary, we haven't lost since that game. After that, so. Yeah, it's one to watch. Unfortunately, possibly we may end up playing at Anfield again in the Champions League this season. So that would be a nice place to get some revenge.
Why is that? Like
in Champions League, we could draw them in the later rounds, couldn't we? Liverpool.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
And that would be a nice place to get a big win at Anfield in the Champions League to. Rather because there does seem to be something about it, and our record over there over the years has been very, very poor. So it just happens. It just happens.
I can see it already. Madueke and Gyökeres doing the Walcott Adebayor. I can see it already.
And Merino.
Fucking hell! Yeah, if you can control the football. I'm so hard at him. I'm sorry. I'm very grateful for the goals he's put in the net. I just think some of his all-round game is incredibly overrated, in my opinion. We'll leave it there, Uncle Mike. Pleasure as always. This was quite therapeutic, and it wasn't as explosive as I thought it'd be. So yeah, that's always a positive. We'll leave it there, ladies and gents. Thanks again, as always, for joining. I hope it was therapeutic for you as well. I haven't actually checked to see where we're at on the road to 400. Obviously, on Friday we were saying.
I think we were getting close, mate. About 9 away, I believe. So
Okay.
we had a couple. Yeah, we had a couple.
9 to go. So, yeah, hopefully we can get there. So if you're in the chat and you're not subscribed, make it 876544321. Please share it with your group chats if you feel comfortable to do so. Word of mouth goes a long way. And obviously, as always, drop the stream a like if you can. We'll be back sometime later this week to review Bruges and preview Wolves. We'll leave it there. Just, yeah, it's been, what did you say, 3 months, right? 18 games unbeaten. Like, it was never going to last forever. It's all about how we regroup now. Get behind the team. 6 wins in a row in all comps would be fucking fantastic. Let's get to the Carabao semis. Let's get 12 points on the board in the league. And let's hopefully give ourselves one step closer to topping the Champions League phase. We'll leave it there. Pleasure as always, Uncle Mike. Up the Arsenal.
Go on, you Reds.